Right now, over 10,000 AI agents are running on the internet with full access to emails, bank accounts, and corporate databases with zero authentication, security, or oversight. While many see this as innovation, it is actually a ticking time bomb for CFOs and then compliance officers. Consider the story of OpenClaw. In late 2025, it became the fastest growing open source project in history, promising a free personal assistant that could manage your calendar, browse the web, and execute system commands. However, the Register quickly labeled it a security dumpster fire. The OpenClaw case highlights 4 critical risks inherent in unmanaged AI: remote code execution. Vulnerabilities allowed attackers to execute commands on any machine running the agent, providing a gateway to the entire company network. Malicious ecosystems: 12% of the tools in this marketplace were found to be malicious, designed specifically to steal data. Exposed credentials: over 10,000 instances were found publicly on the internet with API keys, OAuth tokens, and SSH private keys visible in plain text. Erratic behavior and the cost of this. Agents were caught spamming contacts or burning through hundreds of dollars in tokens just to perform simple tasks like checking the time. OpenClaw is just a symptom. The real problem is that anyone can now deploy autonomous agents with system-level access in minutes, bypassing IT policies. This creates massive liability. A breach of a 10,000 record database represents $5 million potential cost, not including GDPR or HIPAA fines. Without audit trails or logging, you might not even know a breach occurred. AI agents aren't the enemy, but uncontrolled deployment is. I have built and managed over 1,000 autonomous AI agents that handle compliance and financial reporting 24/7. None have leaked credentials or failed because they operate under a strict governance framework. Every action is validated, every output is checked, and every decision undergoes a compliance review with a complete audit trail. AI agents are the future, and your competitors are already deploying them. The question is, will your agents protect your organization or lead to your next breach disclosure? In this space, the companies that win won't be those who move the fastest, but those who move the smartest. If you are ready to deploy AI agents securely and responsibly, let's start that conversation. Now, I'm not here to tell you that AI agents are bad. They're not. In fact, they're extraordinary. I've personally built and managed over 1,000 autonomous AI agents. They run 24/7. They handle compliance monitoring, financial reporting, data analysis, and dozens of other enterprise functions. And not a single one of them has ever leaked a credential, exposed a database, or sent 500 spam messages to someone's wife. Why? Because every single agent operates under a governance framework that we've spent years developing. Every action is checked before it's executed. Every output is validated. Every decision goes through a compliance review. And if something looks wrong, the system doesn't crash. It corrects itself automatically. This isn't theoretical. This is production reality. Hundreds of services running right now. Years of battle-tested development, complete audit trails for every single action. How exactly does it work? Well, that's the conversation I'd love to have with you. The question isn't whether AI agents are the future. They are. But the question is, will your AI agents be the kind that protect your organization or the kind that appear in your next breach disclosure? Here's what I want you to take away from this. AI agents are not going away. Your competitors are deploying them right now. Your employees might already be using them. The question is whether you'll lead this transition with security and compliance built in from day one, or whether you'll be cleaning up a breach 6 months from now, wondering how it happened. In my next video, I'm going to break down the hidden costs that nobody talks about, why free AI agents actually cost 5 to 10 times more than secure to managed ones. The numbers will surprise you. If this resonated with you, if you are thinking about how to deploy AI agents securely in your organization, I'd genuinely love to hear from you. Drop me a message about what responsible AI deployment looks like for your specific situation, because in this space, the companies that win won't be the ones who move fastest. They'll be the ones who moved smartest. Yeah, what if I told you that the free AI agent your team downloaded last month is actually costing you 5 to 10 times more than a professional managed solution? I know exactly how that sounds. It sounds like a sales pitch. It sounds like marketing fluff, but it isn't. I ran these numbers myself, not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. When you are personally managing a fleet of over 1,000 autonomous AI agents, cost optimization is no longer an academic exercise. It is a matter of professional survival. CIA. What I discovered in that process genuinely shocked me. It wasn't just that the free tools were actually expensive. It was that almost nobody is actually counting the total cost of ownership. And, people see a price tag of 0 and stop calculating. But the true costs, the ones that hit your balance sheet 3 to 6 months down the line, those are devastating. Do you know right now, today, how much your organization is actually spending on AI API calls? Not what is budgeted, but what is actually being spent. Can anyone in your company provide a real-time answer? Most can't. Let's start with the visible cost, the ones that show up on the company credit card. To deploy an open source agent like OpenClaw, you need a server, a model, and time. Basic hosting might be $24 a month. That feels manageable. But then there are the tokens. Top tier models like GPT-4, Claude, or Gemini charge by usage, and then most open source agents are tragically unoptimized for token efficiency. I saw an OpenClaw user whose agent burned 120,000 tokens just to check the time. That is roughly $20 in a single night for a task that should cost nothing. When your agent is running 24/7, burning through tokens while you sleep, those pennies turn into thousands of dollars of waste very quickly. However, those visible bills are just the tip of the iceberg. We have to address the invisible cost stack. These are the costs that never appear on an invoice but destroy your bottom line. Cost number one, labor. Setting up an unmanaged AI agent, and it takes 8 to 16 hours of high-level engineering. Maintenance and troubleshooting add another 6 to 10 hours monthly. At a standard engineering rate of 100 per hour, you're looking at up to $18,000 a year just to keep a free tool running. Cost number two, opportunity cost. Every hour an engineer spends babysitting a glitchy AI agent is an hour stolen from your actual product or competitive advantage. Cost number three, security incidents. The average global cost of a data breach is now $445 million. Even a minor leak of API keys or customer emails can easily cost $25,000 in legal reviews and remediation. Cost number four, regulatory fines. This is the one that keeps CFOs awake. GDPR violations can reach 4% of global annual revenue. If your AI agent processes personal data without proper controls, and most unmanaged agents do, you are one audit away from a catastrophic fine. Please. Cost number five, reputation. One headline about a data leak can destroy years of brand trust. If your free AI agent causes a multi-million-dollar breach, was it really free? At what point, does saving money become the most expensive mistake your company has ever made? So let's put these numbers side by side. On the left, the free approach. When you factor in hosting, API waste, engineering labor, and the high-risk exposure of unmanaged systems, a single free agent actually costs between $500 and $2,800 every single month. That isn't an opinion. It is simple arithmetic. On the right, we have a managed, secure AI agent platform. This typically costs between $99 and $99 per month. That price includes optimized prompts that don't waste tokens, built-in security, compliance audit trails, and dedicated hosting. You are essentially choosing between a predictable $9 monthly fee and a gamble on hidden costs that could exceed $25,000 in a single afternoon. The free option is almost always 2 to 10 times more expensive because its costs are hidden in the shadows. Now, I want to share the biggest lever for reducing AI costs, multi-model routing. Currently, most agents use one premium model for every single task. That is like hiring a world-class brain surgeon to put on a simple Band-Aid. You are paying premium rates for tasks that require zero complex reasoning. A smart system automatically routes tasks based on difficulty. Simple classification goes to a lightweight, cheap model. Complex reasoning goes to the premium model. Data formatting might not even need an LLM at all. By implementing this, we have seen organizations slash their AI spending by 40 to 60% without any loss in capability. If you aren't doing this, you are overspending every single hour of the day. Compliance is a competitive advantage, and free is the most expensive word in enterprise software. In my next video, I'll show you real case studies on how multi-model routing works in production. Let's find out where your money is going. I want to reveal the single most important discovery that saved us more money on artificial intelligence than anything else we have ever done in our history. It is a concept so fundamentally simple that once I explain the logic behind it, you are likely to be annoyed that nobody in the industry shared it with you sooner. We managed to reduce our total AI spending by a staggering 60%. We didn't achieve this by using less AI, and we certainly didn't do it by sacrificing the quality of our outputs or downgrading our service levels. We did it by being significantly smarter about which specific AI model handles which specific task. Every major AI company on the planet, the ones providing the models you use every day, is fully aware of this strategy, yet none of them will proactively tell you about it. Why? Because their business models depend on you using their most expensive, high-margin, flagship models for every single query you run, regardless of its actual complexity. Think of it this way. If a restaurant charged you fine dining, 5-star prices for a simple glass of tap water, you would walk out of that establishment immediately. So why are you currently paying top tier GPT-4 or Claude 3.5 Sonnet prices for tasks that a model 20 times cheaper could handle just as effectively? Most organizations today pick one high-end model and apply it to everything. And imagine you own a hospital staffed with elite brain surgeons, general practitioners, and nurses. Now imagine forcing the brain surgeons to do everything, checking blood pressure, changing bandages, answering the phones, and filing basic paperwork. That is exactly what you are doing when you use a premium large language model for every AI task in your workflow. You are paying brain surgeon rates for Band-Aid work. Let's look at the literal cost of this inefficiency. A typical AI agent might spend $10 a day in a standard configuration. This might include $2.50 for email classification, $1.20 for calendar scheduling, $80 for simple data formatting, and $5.50 for complex summarization and reporting. In reality, only that last $5.50 actually required the reasoning power of a premium model. You are overpaying for the other tasks by at least 4 times. This means 45% of your total AI spend is being wasted on tasks that simply do not need that level of intelligence. The alternative is what we call multi-model routing. Instead of a single funnel, you build an intelligent routing layer that classifies task complexity in real time before the task is even processed. Think of it as 3 distinct tiers. Tier 1, premium models for the top 20% of tasks requiring advanced reasoning, such as deep financial analysis, nuanced compliance interpretations, or creative problem solving. Tier 2, mid-range models for the 30% of tasks needing solid language understanding, but not genius level logic, such as drafting emails or summarizing standard documents. Tier 3, lightweight models or even simple rule-based systems for the 50% of tasks that are fundamentally simple, like status checks, pattern matching, and data formatting. Remember the story of the AI agent spending 120,000 tokens just to check the time. With proper routing, that task never even touches an LM. It is handled by a basic system call at zero cost. If only 20% of your workload truly requires the brain surgeon, what are you doing about the other 80%? Let's look at the numbers. After routing is implemented, email classification drops from $2.50 to $0.115, a 94% reduction. Calendar management drops from $1 to $0.10, and it's because it's just parsing structured data. Data formatting dropped from 80 pounds to 0.02. Only the truly complex analysis stays at the $2.50 premium rate. Your total daily spend drops from $10.99 to roughly $4.57. That is $163 saved per month per agent. If you scale that to 100 agents, you are saving $16,300 every single month, or nearly $200,000 per year. We manage over 1,000 agents, so the implications of this math are staggering. However, while the concept is simple, the execution is incredibly difficult. Building a routing layer that accurately classifies tasks, maintains quality thresholds, handles model fallbacks when a lighter model fails, and continuously optimizes based on feedback is not a weekend project. It is a labor of years. You must ensure that sensitive data only flows to approved models and stays within compliant jurisdictions. You could try to build this yourself from scratch, but you would likely spend 18 months reinventing the wheel while burning 60% more budget than necessary every single month during development. Every month you delay is money burn. Go look at your AI API bill from last month and ask yourself how much of that was premium model pricing for Bandage tasks. I bet the answer will shock you. If you realize there is a massive optimization opportunity sitting right in front of you, that is where we should talk. I need to discuss something the AI industry is currently desperate to ignore. Something deeply uncomfortable that will ultimately decide which corporations survive the coming regulatory storm and which ones disappear. We are talking about uncontrolled, autonomous AI agents. Currently, there is a frantic race happening as organizations rush to deploy AI as quickly as possible. The mantra is move fast, break things, and figure out compliance later. So while the pressure from boards, competitors, and the market is real, my experience managing over 1,000 agents has taught me one absolute truth. The companies that deploy the fastest are not the ones who win. The winners are those who deploy most responsibly. Would you put a new employee in charge of your entire company's email, calendar, databases, and financial systems on their very first day without any training, oversight, or HR policies? Of course not. Then why are you doing exactly that with AI agents? To understand the gravity of this, consider 3 non-hypothetical scenarios occurring right now. First, the rogue email agent. A company deploys an agent for customer service that lacks guardrails. A phishing email with a prompt injection tricks the agent into forwarding the entire customer database, e.g. 10,000 records, to a malicious actor. At an average of $150 per record in breach costs, that is a $1.5 million disaster caused by a lack of oversight. Second, the overzealous trading bot, a fintech firm's agent lacking constraints, executes rapid-fire trades during a market dip without a human confirmation step, losing $800,000 in 4 hours. Third, the compliance time bomb, an insurance company uses agents to process claims containing personal health data without audit trails or consent verification. 2 years later, a regulatory audit triggers a GDPR fine of 4% of annual revenue. These aren't just technical glitches, they are existential threats born from a lack of governance. The regulatory environment is tightening dramatically. The EU AI Act, the world's first comprehensive AI regulation, is already in force, classifying systems by risk level and requiring rigorous human oversight and transparency documentation. Violations can lead to fines of up to 35 million euros or 7% of global revenue. 7%. Furthermore, GDPR, the Swiss Federal Act on Data Protection, FADP, HIPAA, and SOX apply to AI just as they do to humans. There are no exceptions for innovation. If your AI agent handles personal data without a clear audit trail or access controls, it isn't an innovation, it is a compliance violation waiting to be discovered. If you were audited tomorrow, could you prove exactly what data each agent accessed and why? If the answer is no, you have a problem that cannot wait. In my book, me and my relationship with 1,000+ AI agents, I argue that building AI without governance is like building a car without brakes. To avoid the crash, we use 5 battle-tested principles. Principle 1, never fully autonomous without guardrails. Every agent operates within constitutional boundaries. Actions are classified as safe, review required, or blocked. Principle 2, least privilege always. An agent only gets the access it needs. An email agent never sees the database. Principle 3, every action is auditable. We record what was done, when, and why. Essential for both learning and legal proof. Principle 4, fail safe, not fail open. If an agent hits an unexpected situation, it pauses and asks for help rather than improvising or guessing. Principle 5, human oversight is a feature. We don't replace judgment, we amplify it. High impact decisions always have a human checkpoint. Here's the secret: the move fast crowd misses. Compliance is not a burden, it is a massive competitive advantage. In regulated sectors like banking, insurance, or healthcare, trust is the only currency that matters. When a Fortune 500 company chooses an AI partner, they won't pick the startup that breaks things. They will pick the one with SOC 2 compliance, audit trails, and GDPR ready handling. Every competitor cutting corners on safety is actually doing you a favor, and they are creating headlines about AI failures that make your responsible approach look infinitely more valuable. Trust in AI is in short supply, which makes it the most valuable asset you can offer. When I started building autonomous agents, I was obsessed with capability. How much can they do? How fast? But the moment that changed everything for me was seeing an agent attempt an unauthorized action that could have caused real harm. I realized that building powerful AI is the easy part. Building trustworthy AI is the hard part. The AI agents you deploy today will define your company's reputation tomorrow. Will they be remembered as the ones that created value or the ones that created headlines? If you want to move smartly and responsibly, then let's have a conversation on LinkedIn. Over the last 4 videos, we've covered a lot of ground. We talked about why OpenClaw's security failures should concern every enterprise leader. We exposed the hidden costs that make free AI agents the most expensive choice you can make. We showed how multi-model routing can cut AI spending by 60%. And we established why responsible AI isn't a burden. It's a competitive advantage, but I've been holding something back. Throughout this entire series, I've told you what matters and why it matters. I haven't told you how. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain. Not all the way, because the specific implementation is what makes our ecosystem unique. But enough for you to understand what a truly secure enterprise-grade AI agent architecture looks like, what the components are, why they matter, and what's possible when you get it right. This is what the future of enterprise AI looks like. Most companies are trying to figure out whether they should use AI agents, but the real question isn't whether, it's how, and the how, that's where most organizations get it catastrophically wrong. Here come the 5 principles of secure AI architecture. What I'm about to describe are 5 principles that any enterprise-grade AI architecture must satisfy. Not the specific technology, not the implementation details, the principles. Because if your architecture doesn't satisfy these, you're building on sand. Principle 1, trust nothing by default. In the OpenClaw world, there's no verification at all. Anyone who can reach the agent can control it. A proper architecture starts from the assumption that every interaction must prove it's legitimate. Well, how we implement that, that's the part that took us years to perfect. Principle 2, verify every capability. Remember those that fail on malicious skills? In OpenClaw'S marketplace, 12% of the total. In a secure architecture, nothing runs unless it's been vetted and verified as authentic. The mechanism for how you achieve that, well, that's where the expertise comes in. Principle 3, contain the blast radius. In OpenClaw, every skill has access to everything. Full file system, a full browser, full network, one compromise, and everything is exposed. In a proper architecture, every agent is isolated. If one has a problem, the rest keep running safely. How deep does that isolation go? That's one of the things I'm most proud of in our system. Principle 4, and this is the one I'm most passionate about, classify before you execute. Every action an agent wants to take gets evaluated first. Safe, go ahead. Risky, hold for human review. Dangerous, blocked. This is what prevents rogue agent scenarios. How exactly do you classify actions in real time across hundreds of agents? That's a conversation I'd love to have with you. And principle 5, recover, don't crash. Every system eventually encounters something unexpected. The question is, does it fall over or does it handle it gracefully? Our ecosystem corrects itself, documents what happened, and gets stronger from every incident. The specific approach we use for that, let's just say it's patent pending for a reason. Now, here's where this gets really exciting, because when you have this foundation in place, you can do things that would be insane to attempt with uncontrolled agents. You can deploy hundreds of specialized agents, each doing one thing exceptionally well. An agent that monitors regulatory changes across 3 jurisdictions in real time. An agent that generates IBCS compliant financial reports in minutes instead of days. An agent that handles customer communications with full audit trails and compliance controls. An agent that continuously analyzes your competitive landscape and alerts you to threats and opportunities. This isn't a roadmap. This isn't a pitch deck. This is running right now over 550 autonomous agents, 97 production services, 0 security incidents. Not because we're lucky, because the architecture prevents them. And here's what makes this fundamentally different from OpenClaw or any other open source agent. Each agent is a specialist. It does one thing. It does it well. It does it safely. We call this the satellite strategy. Each agent is a self-contained satellite. If one has an issue, the others keep running. There's no single point of failure. There's no monolithic architecture where one bug takes down everything. Compare that to OpenClaw, where a single agent has access to your email, your calendar, your files, your browser, and your shell. One compromise and everything is exposed. That's not an architecture. That's a liability. I see a future where every enterprise and individual own hundreds, maybe thousands of specialized AI agents, each handling a specific function: compliance monitoring, financial reporting, customer communication, market analysis, operational optimization, all running 24/7. That future isn't someday. That future is now. So do things properly.